Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no. You know, Cinderella once said that a dream is a wish that only your heart can make. And if that is true, my greatest wish is to go down in history for having been one of the greatest of all time. And even if I don't have that dream become a reality for me and realize it, at least I had the honor of meeting each and every one of you and befriending each and every one of you, which means so much to me, more than you will ever know. Because without you, there is no show. As much as I could be sitting behind this podcast microphone this morning thanking a group of university students that make this show possible, and a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that happens that you guys don't see, I should be thanking all of you, because without you, there are no fans, there are no subscribers, and there are no Jonathan Clarke shows that are uploaded on YouTube every single day. Now, I know I receive a lot of criticism for talking about myself a lot on these video blogs, but the thing is, these stories that I tell about myself remind me of Descendants and positions that I've been in that remind me of Red and Chloe, how they've gotten themselves into certain predicaments that they couldn't make sense of, all because of their friendship. If I have 500 girls watching these videos, then 500 of you have a friend that you've held close and you've cherished forever and always in your heart. And I love that so much about friendships. Some of the most beautiful friendships we know have come from some of the most successful Disney Channel franchises, such as High School Musical, Hannah Montana, and now Descendants and Zombies joins the fold. Descendants and Zombies has forever and always had an imprint on all of our hearts that we will never ever forget, and one that I will forever cherish. If I live to be 100 years old and I no longer am on YouTube or on the radio, I will never forget the profound impact that Descendants and Zombies has had on my heart and my life, because it changed it. You guys changed it. Because when I couldn't make sense of my own life through the story of Descendants and Zombies, how one could find their true love, how one could be friends with somebody for forever, it really allowed me to have a different perspective on life and really changed my perspective on reality, really. Because kindness really does go a long way in this world. I mean, how many times in our lifetime do we encounter somebody that really gives off a negative vibe, as if they don't want to be around the people they're around, don't want to be friends with the people who they think they're friends with, or who they think they are friends with. The thing is, I think there is never enough kindness shown in this world, and I've always wanted to convey a message of kindness and help spread a message of kindness that you guys have helped me spread through the power of this show. And Bridget had a lot to do with that. You know, Bridget encouraged me to be a more kind person, so she became my favorite Descendants character. It just didn't have everything to do with how she could sing a song, bring a song to life in a way that she did. It didn't have everything to do with how she dressed up in pink, and pink was her favorite color. It was just how kind she was. And I really think that she is a genuine soul who deserves more of an opportunity. It's just a shame to me, a crying out shame, that her time with the Descendants franchise was very short-lived. Ruby, I want you to know that I love you, man, and I'm going to miss you being a part of Descendants 5. You know, going into Descendants 4, The Rise of Red, I was really excited about the news that Ruby Rose Turner was going to be donning the character Bridget to offer us an explanation as to why the Queen of Hearts was so evil. And you know, I remember when people found the Queen of Hearts to be the most evil Disney villain in the history of Disney villains, and that takes into consideration Maleficent, Ursula, Cruella de Vil, Jafar, Hades. Every Disney villain that could be at the top of the most annoying list, it was the Queen of Hearts, and I concurred with that. But I think Rita Ora did a fabulous job really bringing the best out of Kylie Cantrell, because Kylie Cantrell became this fierce character that didn't care what anybody thought of her, and went on to become one of the most powerful Descendants characters and one of the most revered of all time. So too did she encourage everybody that dreams can come true, and that's been my quote for forever. I've been saying it for over 25 years on this show, so thank you very much, Kylie, for using my quote for some of the openings of the Worlds Collide tours. The Worlds Collide tour has been something that has had a profound impact on all of our hearts, and an experience that we will never ever forget. Whoever thought you would be in the presence of your favorite Descendant stars for Q&As, meet and greets, a performance that was once in a lifetime. And you guys really had the time of your life, shouting out, "Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening," and you couldn't believe that you were in the presence of your favorite Descendant stars. And so too, they couldn't believe that they were in the presence of you. Some of them even wanted to crowd surf. I certainly hope that Kylie Cantrell, although I never did see her crowd surf, got the opportunity to do it on something that perhaps wasn't recorded for YouTube or for TV. I think that these dreams of these stars have been realized, and your dreams have been realized, so the purpose of the Worlds Collide tour was definitely fulfilled, but you guys really did show up. What I couldn't stand was how people were reviewing the Worlds Collide tour who hadn't even been there, who didn't even experience it, and just wanted to put it out there for what it was. What it wasn't, really, a show that seemed to be so disastrous. I mean, everybody who reviewed it on YouTube seemed to say something cruel about it that didn't deserve to be saying anything about it at all, because everybody was so in love with this tour. The ones that need to be thanked are all of you, and I think that you're not thanked enough. And I just want to put it out there to anybody who spends he or she's time reviewing Descendants for Zombies. At least know what you're talking about and have it make sense to everybody. At least give them something they deserve to see, because there are families that made great sacrifices so their kids could go to it, or they could go to it as a family and experience it together. And I think that 24 hours after you see the Worlds Collide tour, whether regardless if you were in attendance or you saw something on YouTube about it, uploading a video about it where you review it so negatively and present such a negative vibe is so uncalled for. I mean, these girls showed up at the Worlds Collide tour dressed up to the nines in beautiful gowns, dancing in the crowd to their favorite songs, shouting out to their favorite stars, getting the opportunity to meet and greet with them, and have autographs signed. I mean, it was a beautiful time, and I hope we see a sequel to this tour. It made summer 2025 a summer I know that I will never ever forget. And a lot of that had to do with the success of this show, because this summer was one of the most successful summers since this show premiered last summer. It's been around for 1 year. August 5th, 2025 celebrated the 1 year anniversary of this show, and I have each and every one of you to thank for that, and this summer will be a summer that I will never ever forget. And just think about it like this. This time next summer, we'll be counting down the hours, the minutes, and the seconds to the Descendants Wicked Wonderland premiere, which I'm really excited about, because there's going to be a whole new story with a whole new plot that is going to become very unpredictable as we edge ever closer to the premiere of this one. One thing about it that jumps out about me is the title. It is a very different title, and it shows a greater appreciation for the Alice in Wonderland saga that has become a very valuable part to the Descendants franchise. And I love this so much. Just recently, Disney Speedstorm unveiled the new roster, which includes members of the Alice in Wonderland cast. The Queen of Hearts, Alice herself, the Cherokee Cat, and I found it kind of cool. I always love how Disney shows this appreciation for Alice in Wonderland that sometimes is overshadowed by something else happening with Disney, like Monsters Incorporated, Toy Story, Lion King, what have you. And then from out of nowhere, here comes Alice in Wonderland with a triumphant return. And I really do believe that Alice in Wonderland will forever have an impact and an imprint left on the Descendants franchise. I think this was really the go-to for the producers of the new franchise. If they were going to create a franchise off of anyone's success, it would have to have been Alice in Wonderland, because there's so much of a story to be told. A total of 4 books and just 2 movies talking about Alice in Wonderland having emphasis with Descendants and Zombies is one way of looking at it, but having 3 or 4 could be a whole new universe and a whole new expansion, because I was a huge fan of Alice in Wonderland. I always admired Alice's courage. I always admired her, desire to want to find something out more and be a part of life more than what a lot of characters that Disney distributed wanted to be. I mean, Aurora was a beautiful character, for instance, but did we ever see Aurora be so as adventurous as someone like Rapunzel or someone like Alice? No, we didn't. And I think that because of that, characters like Red are going to go down in history for being some of the most revered of all time because of the controversy they have presented for the Descendants franchise. As much as Red's mother wanted her to be evil, she turned it to be something much more than that. A greater representation of the Queen of Hearts' daughter could have ever envisioned. And I think because of that, more people feel inspired by her. More people are now standing up for what they believe in. More people are remaining friends with each other for the rest of their lives because of the friendships we've seen off the success of the Descendants franchise, dating all the way back to friendships such as Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson, which I can never give enough profound credit for, because there were also a lot of rumors surrounding Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson's friendship, and I think they were completely unnecessary, because if you're going to talk about a friendship, at least talk about it for what it is. Beautiful, because I think that 2 girls being incredibly supportive of each other is exactly what this world needs. I mean, guys don't have the same kind of mutual understanding for each other as what girls do, and they tell each other everything. I mean, I've never had a guy friend in my life tell me everything about their life and what they may be going through, but every single night there's a girl calling another girl, telling her what her day was like, what happened, what transpired, can you help me make sense of it? And I really appreciate that, and that's where I value friendships like Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker, and I think the criticism that it's received is, well, completely unnecessary, and it breaks my heart. I'm not going to lie to you. From the very first moment I heard all these rumors about Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker's friendship, it broke my heart, because I have never seen such a more beautiful and a more powerful friendship be put on display both on and off of camera for Descendants. What made this script so cool was that these 2 friends were not only friends on the set of Descendants, but they were also friends off of the set of Descendants, and the resumes definitely speak for themselves. For instance, Kylie Cantrell's resume, Gabby during the Unsuitables, High School Musical, the series, and now Descendants. Descendants, really adding fuel to an already kindled fire that's been burning for forever and eternally for Kylie Control. She was destined for greatness, and she's seen that pinnacle of her greatness with Descendants, and I think that she has every reason in the world to be proud of her profound success. And I don't think being in a relationship with a guy should take that away from Kylie Control. I just want to put it out there, Kylie, you did nothing wrong, and I will forever advocate for you for not having done anything wrong in your relationship. It's just the guy that you're with couldn't see your value, and what I mean by your value is your true worth. And I think that if any girl out there is with a guy who doesn't see her true worth, then she needs to remove herself from the situation. Just say, I can't do this anymore. Because I think that the talent that Kylie Control has, exemplified as part of the cast of Descendants High School Musical, the series, for whatever she may have been a part of, has been absolutely outstanding and come off as inspirations to everybody. And she doesn't need to be remembered for a girl who had her heart broke in a relationship that she just couldn't make sense of. You see, the thing is, Kylie Control is trying to figure out her place in this world. And how can she figure out her place in this world if she's faced with so much criticism about a role she donned for Descendants, a role that she wanted to have ever since the age of 9 years old? Ruby Rose Turner the same, who's received her fair share of criticism, and now Liamani Segura hasn't even premiered as Pink, her sister, and she's already being referred to as a mini Bridget. I know, I've read the comments, and I think it's completely unnecessary. That's not giving somebody a chance. If you love somebody, give them a chance. And that goes for anybody out there. If you truly love somebody, give them a chance to explain themselves, give them a chance to show up, and let's see what they're capable of. Let's give Liamani Segura a chance and see how she brings this franchise to life. Oh, she's a mini Bridget. That's jumping to a conclusion. Or me coming on here saying I love this about Descendants and I didn't necessarily like this about Descendants. That's jumping to a conclusion. That's drawing my own formidable conclusion, and I don't want to have to do that. If I want to get to a conclusion with Descendants and Zombies, I want to get to a conclusion that was worth the wait. Not a conclusion that's formidably drawn where an opinion is given that's not really taken into consideration. Because some of you have beautiful opinions, and far more beautiful opinions than perhaps what I ever have. And you're some of the smartest fans in the world. I give you a profound amount of credit for really showing up with Descendants. And what I mean by showing up with Descendants, you never shy away from your opinion on it. Now, while some people don't like Descendants, I think at least 95% of the audience does. And they've accepted this cast despite all the criticism it received. I know first off, people really weren't in acceptance of the cast. They were saying, what's happening here? Kylie Control, Ruby Rose Turner, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, where's Dove Cameron? Where's Sophia Carson? How can they do this without Cameron Boyce? You had a lot of questions, but after your questions died down, you very quickly fell in love with this franchise because the music got better. The music had a better vibe. It may have presented a Harry Potter kind of, fairy tale kind of vibe, Wicked kind of vibe, but the thing is, you loved it so much and you had different reasons for loving it. Me, it really helped me make sense of life, and I've been a fan of musicals all my life, and I'm not a fan of Descendants just because I've been a fan of musicals all my life. It was just something I wanted to take a chance on. Just like each and every one of you, I saw the premiere of The Rise of Red last year, and I loved it. Within the first 15 minutes of the movie, I was hooked. And I watched the entire production. If it was 90 minutes, I watched all 90 minutes of it, even the credits, because I wanted to hear the melody that went along with the credits. I love Descendants and Zombies so much, and I loved the script of it. I loved how they got each other out of situations they couldn't get each other out of without making sense of it. I loved how friendships were created and derived off of this. I loved how Red was able to change time, but you can also expect consequences from changing time, because one can't expect to alter the fabric of time and not expect consequences. Those were the haunting words from Uma, who did a fabulous job reprising a role from original Descendants fame. I have a lot of respect for China and McLean, in all honesty, for being the only Descendants star to reprise her role, with the exception of, I believe, the fairy godmother, who reprised her role. There were two people who reprised the role from the original Descendants cast, and the thing is, everybody wanted Dove Cameron to be a part of this. Everybody was hoping that Dove Cameron was going to show up, but she's been desperately trying to leave her Disney past behind her, and while we want her to show up, we also have to respect that her decision is to, leave her Disney past behind her. Why? I really don't know. Perhaps she was really beginning to feel the pressure that goes with portraying a character so significant as Mel, but that doesn't mean that Kylie Control can't get the job done for each and every one of us, because she's been able to do it. And she's been able to do it in a profound way, so much so that I've fallen in love with Kylie Control, and I think she doesn't deserve to have her heart broken. For those of you who are new here on this YouTube channel, hi, my name is Jonathan Clarke. I am your voice of Descendants and Zombies, and I have the biggest crushes in the world on Ruby and Kylie, because I believe they deserve a hell of a lot better than what they've been receiving in the way of reviews. I mean, if you're going to review Kylie Control, review her in a way that she feels confident, and she feels strong enough to keep revering her role and reprising her role as Red, because I think Red was a very different kind of character. She turned out to be something far different than what her mother ever wanted her to be, and she made everybody feel so proud to call themselves a Descendants fan. I know that she's made me proud to call myself a Descendants fan, and I've said a lot about Descendants and Zombies over the last year on this YouTube channel, not just because I recognize the popularity of it, because I just wanted to create something special for each and every one of you, because a lot of these videos that are being uploaded to YouTube really make no sense. And what I mean by making no sense is it's pretty much just AI promising you fake release dates, false promises with the script and how it's going to unfold. I think one of the most beautiful ways to look at Descendants is this. Perceive it for how you want to perceive it. Think what you think is going to happen for Descendants and not what somebody else is telling you is going to happen on a YouTube channel or a YouTube video. Because YouTube, I don't know if it even really makes a whole lot of sense about people like Descendants, and you know, I think the algorithm realizes that people are searching up Descendants all the time and they're recommending you these videos, but the people creating the videos really don't know a whole lot about it. So my best advice to each and every one of you is, if you're going to show up as a Descendants fan, you know, show up with your own predictions and your own value for Descendants, and just don't necessarily listen to somebody else trying to tell you how Descendants is going to go, because it's just a bunch of predictions that really make no sense. They aren't really adding up, and if I'm going to create a Descendants and Zombies video for you, I'm just going to create a Descendants and Zombies video in the hopes that you are going to hit the subscribe button, because this is how my life goes. When I create a Descendants and Zombies video, I don't even promote it. I just upload it to YouTube, and I go away for a couple of hours before I create my next video. And I go to Booster Juice, per se, and I come back and I see if anybody's subscribed. I don't know if anybody's going to subscribe to my videos, but I know I've been around long enough to know that someone will eventually subscribe, as long as you're putting up the content. The thing is, these fans know so much about Descendants and Zombies, so to come on here and insult it like a lot of people who create these Descendants and Zombies videos do through their reaction videos and their opinions being offered, they know everything there is to know about Descendants and Zombies. So if you say anything politically incorrect, they are going to let you know about it. And I have a profound amount of credit for the strength that these Descendants and Zombies fans have, because they will kill you if you don't say anything they want you to hear. They want to hear about Descendants and Zombies. I want you guys to know that I have a profound amount of credit for each and every one of you for being fans of Descendants and Zombies, and there is no place in the world I would rather be than having the honor to sit behind this podcast microphone and to have talked about Descendants and Zombies in the way that I feel it's been meant to be talked about for a very long time. Because when you have a franchise that has recorded over 100 million streams for just one particular chapter of the franchise, and over 781 million hours of stream time in total, that really says a lot. And then Zombies is coming right behind with over 250 million hours of stream time. I think that a lot of critics out there who review Zombies, more especially, should take into consideration the stream time hours that Disney Plus has accumulated for this. So will we see Zombies 5? Will we see Zombies 6? Sure we will, as long as Disney keeps realizing that the popularity of this franchise is at an all-time high. And I really do believe that these franchises are at an all-time high and far more successful than High School Musical and Hannah Montana ever were, because more people are talking about Descendants and Zombies than ever before. People talked about Hannah Montana years ago, but never as much as this. People talked about High School Musical and showed up for the theatrical premieres years ago, but never as much as this. And I really do believe that if Descendants was given more of an opportunity, not just a world tour, but a theatrical premiere, I think millions of people would show up. People would have a desire to watch it. I've been a fan of musicals all my life, and that has a lot to do with why I'm a huge fan of Descendants. I think the music got better by Descendants 2. Descendants 2 was one of my favorite Descendants movies of all time. The cast was beautiful. Losing Cameron Boyce was a profound impact on the Descendants franchise. Everybody misses him, and I think that a profound amount of credit needs to be given to this original cast for how strong they were getting over this, because they're still not over it, and we're still remembering Cameron Boyce. So I think the best way to honor his memory is do exactly what Cameron Boyce would have wanted and carry on the legacy of your favorite Descendant stars. I mean, Dove Cameron went through a very hard time after the death of Cameron Boyce, and I just want to put it out there that my heart goes out to everybody dealing with this. It really does. And for everybody who has ever received their fair share of criticism for being a fan and a supporter of Descendants and Zombies, I want you to know it's going to be all right, because I'm going to be here for forever, helping you make sense of these franchises with other critics on YouTube, because that's pretty much what they are. They're all critics, and as the old cliche saying goes, everybody is a critic. So I want to make a promise to each and every one of you that I will forever and always be here to help you make sense of the Descendants and Zombies universe in other ways that other YouTube creators just fail to do drastically, because they're only here for one thing, and that's the criticism of Descendants and Zombies. You know, I've heard people on their podcasts, you know, doing these ridiculous intros, blah, 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 Descendants and Zombies. You know, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And, when you have somebody on YouTube going, Descendants and Zombies, click subscribe, it's not something that I am particularly fond of. You have to show up and you have to present the product for what it's worth. And that's the value of the product. And because the reason why these videos are so lackluster is because a lot of people don't understand nor appreciate the value of the product. And that's just what I've wanted to give to you, being the host of this show. A year and a half ago, I didn't know my career was going to turn out the way that it did. It was really just a hit or miss for me after $5,000 having put behind this podcast, because I do a lot for this show that a lot of you don't see off of camera. And I'm very proud to do it. I'm so excited to show up here with new microphones and new cameras, and so much of an investment made for this YouTube channel, because an investment for this YouTube channel really does go a long way. It may be a hit or miss, but it's an honor for me to be able to sit behind this podcast microphone and talk about Descendants and Zombies the way I believe it's been meant to be talked about for a very long time. Because if I couldn't do this, I don't know where I'd be. I don't even know what I'd be doing. I'd probably be talking about something on YouTube or streaming video games that probably would make a whole lot of sense to everybody, which a lot of people do. They talk about a lot of nonsense. If they talk about Descendants and Zombies, they talk about the top 5 songs in the movie or their top 5 favorite scenes, and they rank them. They don't tell you how they felt about a song like Chillin' Like a Villain. That proved to us that even with how evil some people can be in this world, there is a good side to everybody. They don't talk about Rotten to the Core, which was an opening dance number about acceptance, and how even villains can coexist in a world with heroes that is full of heroes that sometimes go unrecognized. I know this because I appreciate Descendants and Zombies as much as you, and I know what it's like to be you. And that's what makes me different from any other critic on YouTube, is I know what it's like to be you and to be a Descendants fan. Because just like all of you, the greatest day in the history of these franchises was the day Jonathan Clarke became a Hannah Montana or a Descendants fan. I was a Hannah Montana fan too, but the greatest day in the history of this franchise was when I became a Descendants fan. And I was a Hannah Montana fan too. There was no guy out there that was a bigger supporter of Hannah Montana, which, by the way, I'm hoping they're going to do a Hannah Montana reunion tour this year, because I was a big fan of Miley Cyrus, and I'm all in for this one. I will show up and I will make a bunch of Hannah Montana videos and tell you about my stories of my life about Hannah Montana. The thing is, I love to tell stories about my life that relate to Descendants and Zombies, because one can't just talk about Descendants and Zombies. He has to live his life out like Descendants and Zombies, and there's no better way to do that than by living near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could explode at any given moment. And trust me, guys, you haven't lived until you live near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could explode at any given moment. I highly recommend that you try. No, wait. Refrain from doing that and leave that to the professionals who talk about Descendants and Zombies. So tonight, just before the sun sets, I will be back just midway through sunset with another video, and then later on tonight. So I've got 2 more podcasts left to drop on this channel, and I hope you will join me for this as I try to spread my own message of kindness and review Descendants and Zombies in the way that it was meant to be reviewed. And don't worry what the critics are saying. We will see Descendants 5 and we will see Zombies 5. It's just a matter of, how these scripts will unfold, how the plots will be thickened, how they will, be detailed. I'm really looking forward to this. The release window for Zombies 5 suggests anywhere between now and 2027. I really don't know if I believe that or not. I think that more of a chance needs to be given for this new franchise of Zombies, because I know they've received their fair share of criticism. People are saying, how can you do this without Zed and Addison? People are already creating rumors if Zed and Addison will return. I think they are more satisfied with their roles now behind the camera and offering a creative direction, if you would, to this, because I think more of a creative direction will definitely secure the future of the Zombies franchise. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited to find out what's inside of the vortex and where the franchise will go from here, and what places, what horizons it will be taken on, and what kind of journey it will embark on with Freya Sky and Malachi Burton, whom I believe are going to do a fabulous job promoting the Zombies franchise, because believe you me, guys, this franchise still has a long way to go. And I don't know about you, but I'm really excited to be on this incredible journey that you girls have got me on for the better part of the last 10 years. It's really hard to believe for me that it's been 10 years since Descendants really blew up and took over the Disney universe in such a way that nobody's ever left. I mean, many of you checked out of the multiverse when all this stuff happened for Marvel years ago, and the same thing can be said about the Descendants franchise. While you could have checked out, you stayed with it for forever, and because of your love and support that you have shown Descendants and Zombies, now Descendants and Zombies is in a position to really take over for an eternity. And I'm just really excited to be a part of it, and I'm really excited to be your voice of Descendants and Zombies, because this is so much fun for me to be able to sit behind my podcast microphone in my office every morning and talk about Descendants and Zombies. Now, while I may know I have a lot of critics out there who watch these videos, I do know that I have more people who love these videos and who support them and who will always hit my like button and hit my subscribe button and always show up. And as long as you continue to show up and continue to show your love and support for these videos, I will continue to create them for you, because there's no better feeling or no greater honor that I have bestowed upon me than having the honor to sit behind this podcast microphone and to have talked about Descendants and Zombies in the way that it's finally been meant to be talked about for the better part of 10 years. While people show up on YouTube and promise you Descendants and Zombies videos by the bulk, I will forever and always honor the promise I made to you last year and always have at least one video about Descendants and Zombies every single day of our lives for the rest of our lives, and on a journey that I'm incredibly proud to have been a part of. There is never enough kind words said in this world, and there is never enough kind people seen in this world, so why not give the world what it wants? Kindness and a message of kindness. Help me spread it by spreading your own message of kindness today. I will see you guys later on this afternoon with another great video, and I hope you will join me for it. Until then, stay calm, zombie on, be kind to one another, because you never know how far kindness can go in this world, how far it can make it, until you spread your own message of kindness, because life really is sweeter when all of us are. Having said that, bye YouTube. We will talk in just a few hours from now.